Hey everybody, it's Steve with Steve Scott SEO, and I'm here with another cool tool just for you. Today's cool tool is one I've been using for some time now, and it helps you to remove unused CSS within your website. And you may be thinking, well, why does that matter? Why would I care? Well, Google has recently announced that they're going to be putting out a new page experience update starting in mid-June of 2021 and running through April 2021. They actually announced it last year that it was coming, but now this new page speed update is going to be a ranking factor. And basically what you're really trying to do is speed things up, make things faster, make a better user experience. And one of the things that can sometimes hold you back or increase the speed or the load time of your site, making your site slower, is your CSS files. If you're using WordPress, for example, most of the plugins are going to add one or more CSS files. And if you don't know, CSS allows for styling. It stands for cascading style sheets. And CSS makes it easier for your site to look a certain way, your fonts to be a certain color or size, padding, and other things that can be used within CSS. The problem is that you're not always using all of the CSS that is in these files. And so there's a great tool out there that I'm going to show you in a minute to help you with that. But just to give you some idea of how critical this can be, take a look at this. I've actually gone to Google's Page Speed Insights report, and I've run my home page of my website, which I know is hurting, through their tool. And as I scroll down on the Page Speed Insights report, you'll notice here there's an opportunities area. And one of the things at the top of this particular list says to remove unused CSS, right? And basically it's coming up and telling me that I can save almost 2 seconds of loading time or make my site about 2 seconds faster if I can get rid of some of the dead rules from the style sheets that I'm using, or at least maybe defer them to later so it doesn't cause these load problems. And so in order to figure out how to do that, because listen, I'm not a programmer, I know some basic CSS, but my gosh, when I look through those full CSS files, I don't know where to begin. And even if I really kind of got involved, it's really hard to know what's being used on each page of your website. So there's a great tool that I've been using for some time. It's called Remove Unused CSS or Unused CSS. Great little tool. Simply go to their website. It's unused-css.com. And when you get to their homepage, you'll see this particular interface here. All you got to do is put in a page on your website that you want to check out. This is only going to look at a single page, and you simply hit the Remove Unused CSS button. That in turn is going to start to go out to your page and begin to track the information. Now, since I've already run it, it came up really quick. Usually you have to wait a few minutes as it looks at the content of your page. But as you can see, there's a lot of red here, and the red is saying unused, right? So only the green is actually stuff that's within the CSS file that's being used on that particular page. Now, let me be clear. The CSS files may get loaded on every single page of your website, and maybe different pages of your website might use different pieces of it. This particular thing that we're looking at right now is only looking at the one page that I've told this tool to look at. And as you can see, it's saying, hey, if they clean up this file, it's going to be about, what, 91% smaller. This one will be 96% smaller. So, it could really shrink them up. And as you'll see here, for example, this one, there's 56 unused selectors or elements, you may want to call them, within the file that are not being used on this page, while there's only 7 that are being used. There may be a total of, let's say, 20 being used from this particular file, but they may be getting used on other pages of the website. So you have to either run this tool on each page of your website, but that would be a nightmare. The really strong thing about this tool is that if you go ahead and put your email results in, and have it find all unused CSS, it'll then go into your site and spider your site like a search engine might do the same thing, and look at all the pages of your site and all the different selectors that are getting used. And when it's done doing the processing, it will then allow you to download the latest cleaned or optimized versions of these CSS files. So in this particular site, as we're looking at, on this particular page, you see there's 56 unused, 7 that are being used, total of 63 that are within this file. Well, let's just say for argument's sake that after going through the rest of the pages on my website that this particular file is loaded on, maybe let's say that there's 20 total that are being used out of the 63. Well, that's going to leave us 43 unused. And so unused CSS will send us a file that's only going to contain the 20 CSS selectors that are being used. That's going to eliminate those other selectors that aren't in use. It's going to make a smaller file, which will load quicker, and it's just going to make life a lot easier. And it'll give you all of the different files. So again, on this page here, you see there's 31 unused and there's only one being used. But in order to get this to work for you and to actually be able to download the files, you do have to go to their paid version. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what's really nice about this is once you do pay for it, you'll get all of the CSS that's been cleaned up. And all you've got to do is go and replace the old file with the new file. Now, again, how you do that's going to depend upon the system that you're using. If you're using WordPress, for example, you may have a bit of a problem with that. You have to kind of find where the CSS file that's being loaded is originally stored, make a backup copy of it just in case something goes wrong with the newer file, and then replace the old file with the new cleaned or optimized version from Unused CSS. But as you can see, it can be a really big factor because PageSpeed Insights said, hey, if I remove some of the unused CSS, I can save almost 2 seconds of load time, and every millisecond is critical nowadays due to Google's page experience update coming in mid-June through August, which will be a ranking factor. So this is more important than ever to clean things up. Now, lots of times it tends to be because of images or other large sort of format files, but this is another area that, images, you can tend to, a lot of us know how to work with images, how to reduce those files. There's different tools out there you can use to optimize images, especially some of the plugins that are out there, but very few out there that actually will strip out the dead CSS, the dead weight, so to speak, and only give you the stuff that really, really is necessary to use. Now, as I mentioned, this is not a crazy expensive tool. You can spend $25 a month when you prepay for the year, or if you just want to test it out for a little while and see if it's for you, you can go to the monthly pricing. It's just $29 a month for a single website, $45 for 5 sites or more, and then $99 a month for agencies that can use this and run this on all of their client sites and get the best optimized versions of the CSS for each of their clients. Give it a shot, take a look, see if it's for you. But if you are having any difficulty, if you do have pages of your site that you run and you're seeing this sort of, especially from PageSpeed Insights, this particular one saying remove unused CSS, well, I would highly recommend going out, checking out unusedcss.com. I like this tool a lot. I've been showing it for a long time now. I like what they're doing. I haven't seen anything else out there like this. Maybe there is, but this is a great one. So that's it for me for this week, for this cool tool. I hope you find some value out of it. If you check it out, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And if you have some other thoughts about the CSS files or some other tools, again, let me know. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next week for the next cool tool. Thanks, and talk to you soon. So if you have a particular situation or challenge that you'd like my help with, please head over to stevescottseo.com and book a free 15-minute consult with me. Oh, don't forget to hit subscribe and like. See ya.